Hi, my name is Michelle Borkey. I work for the Kern County Probation Department. I've been with the department about 12 years, and I am also a survivor of a mass shooting. I was at Route 91 in Las Vegas on 10/1/2017. Prior to that, I had taken the active crisis training probably about a year, maybe 2 years before it happened, and uninstinctively, I remembered things to use. Initially, we thought it was firecrackers. We were kind of above all the people on the ground. We were in front of, if you've heard the stories, where the white tanks were that they say he was aiming at. We thought it was firecrackers. We thought people were fighting. And by the time the first volley went off, we kind of realized that it was gunfire. We immediately took cover, even though it was under a beanbag. We took cover and we waited for the first volley to stop. Then we, as soon as it did, we stayed low, which uninstinctively I didn't realize that I was taking from the training to stay low. There was 3 of us together. We kind of stayed, the 3 of us together, but we kind of spaced ourselves out. And by the time the next volley hit, we were in an open area. And we got down as far as we could on the ground. It was AstroTurf, but we still tried to stay as low as we could, even though we had nothing to cover us. As the second volley ended, we ran downstairs. I don't know how we got down. I feel like we might have crawled because at this point we still were afraid to stand up. We got to the bottom of the stairs and realized that the side where we were at was completely opposite from where they'd been letting us exit all weekend. So our first thought was we were gonna have to run through the crowd, where we had no idea where the shooter was coming from at this point. If there was more than one, it sounded like there was more than one. And by the grace of God, the gate was, someone had already knocked the gate over where we were at. We waited because again, there was another volley that sounded like it was getting closer. I think at this point there was the sinks where you wash your hands from the porta potties. We got underneath one of those as far as we could. There was probably about 5 of us at that point. And as soon as it stopped, we went through the parking lot. We tried to help people along the way. There was a couple of people that just looked scared. They looked like they had nowhere to hide. I even remember being a girl, she looked about 16, no shoes, trembling, crying, and she was standing by what looked like a handicapped sign, like where the pole was, and she was in so much shock she wouldn't come with us. And I remember my friend's husband saying, we've got to go. We can't stop. We don't know where they're coming. Because initially coming out that side, we thought to ourselves that they're probably standing outside the parking lot waiting to shoot us all when we came out. The last volley I remember hearing, I know there was probably more as we were crossing the street and we hit the ground, and we literally thought we were gonna die at that point. I literally looked at my friend, she looked at me, and she said, I'm ready to go if you're ready to go, as long as we're together. And we remember Las Vegas Police Department, the girl grabbed us up and yanked us and said to run for our lives. And I kept thinking, she's running in and we're running out. By the time we finally got to safety, I kind of was still in shock, a little bit of anxiety, had a panic attack. A couple days later, talking with another friend of mine that had also taken the class, we realized that instinctively, deep down inside, we remembered what to do. We remembered to stay low. I got scared to even get near crowds. Every time we turned a corner and I saw like a big crowd of people, something told me not to go toward them. And now I know that taking this class, it really did stick with me. When I didn't sit there and think about it, but it stuck with me. I mean, I was at a place where I thought nothing like that would ever happen. It was the last thing on my mind that something like that was gonna end our weekend. But I really feel that this training is good, and I feel that especially being in law enforcement, sometimes we get complacent and we take things for granted. And I'm just blessed to be able to have this as a reminder that we have to remember and we have to be on top of our toes and think about what's happening around us.